coming clean on a $1,400 or $2,000 fourth stimulus check. It's honesty hour and we're cranking up the heat. Let's get into it and discuss all the details. You know, is anybody else getting a little warm right now? No, I'm just kidding. Let's get into it and discuss all the details on a $1,400 or a $2,000 fourth stimulus check. As I've been seeing some comments down below over the last several months here, some of you reaching out and saying, hey, can you give us your honest opinion? What do you think on a fourth stimulus check? Do you really think we're going to be getting one? If so, how much is it going to be and when are we actually going to get it? These are some really good questions which I've seen hundreds and hundreds of times over the last several weeks and several months. A lot of you wondering if/when are we actually going to get a payment. So let's get into it and let me break this all down for you and let you know where we currently stand, and let me tell you my honest opinion on all of this. So let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. I'm here for you each and every day as your one and only daily advocate, doing all this research and breaking it all down into these short videos, especially as it relates to money, benefits, programs, raises to benefits, checks, stimulus, and anything else that we may be able to get right here, right now, during this very busy time and this very high inflationary time that we're currently living through right now, when everybody needs more money because money is really, really tight for a lot of people. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss any updates going forward during this very busy time. And my commitment and my promise to you is that I'll continue to be here for you every single day, right by your side, helping you out in any way that I possibly can, as well as keeping you updated with what is really going on right here, right now. All right, thanks again. Let's jump into this and discuss all the details on infamous stimulus check number 4. All right, so things are changing literally every single day. If you would have asked me this question, which actually many of you do ask me this question, if we would have gone over this, say, 3 months ago, my opinions and my answers on that probably would have been significantly different. Even a month ago, even 3 weeks ago, things are changing very, very, very rapidly right now. As you probably noticed because you've been watching all the updates here on the channel, literally, I'm coming back on a daily basis and it's like, how could we possibly experience something different? How could we possibly see even something more extreme than what we're currently dealing with right here, right now? But every single day, coming back, it's like, oh wow, look at that. Can't believe that just happened. I can't even imagine what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like happening like this every single day. So in this video, I quickly want to run through it and let you know where we currently stand on all this. So I don't think I need to run through all the different details of everything going on right now. I think it's pretty obvious what is going on. Inflation is basically historic highs right now. People are living paycheck to paycheck. Over 40% of people who are out there, working the 9 to 5 are living paycheck to paycheck. Over 67% of the people who are, just basically everybody right now is living paycheck to paycheck, whether it's from a fixed income or earned income, whatever it happens to be. More than 2/3 of the people are living literally just check to check every single month. So a lot of stuff going on. Prices on literally everything. Groceries are through the roof. Over 90% of people are concerned about food prices in this country. Rents are off the charts right now. You want to keep going on? I mean, I can literally keep going on and on here with all these different reports, all these different benefits that many of you here in the community are receiving, like Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB. Again, these programs haven't been reformed in a very long time. There's some promising piece of legislation out there, but again, we're waiting for Congress to do something about this. And all of these benefits are way behind the times right now. Way too many people are either on the brink of falling into poverty or are falling into poverty, and they don't really have a solution on a good system on how to get out. So we've known all this before. Over the last 2.5 years or so, Congress has sent out, or approved, I should say, and then they've sent out 3 stimulus checks, which has prevented almost 20 million people from falling into poverty just between the stimulus checks and the advanced child tax credit payments. All of these alone, nearly 20 million people have been prevented from falling into poverty and even lifting some people out of poverty. So it would seem like the answer is pretty clear here what to do, right? Now, again, on the other hand, we do see some of these statements coming out from various people saying if they send out another stimulus check, it's just going to cause more inflation. Well, depends. It just like so many other questions, it depends. In some instances, if they send out a broad stimulus check to every single person in this country or 85% of the population like they did with the last 3 checks, then yes, absolutely, it would cause a lot of inflation. But if they sent out a highly focused check, say $1,400, $2,000, to say a highly focused group of people, maybe 20 million, 30 million, maybe 50 million people at the absolute most, is that going to cause rapidly rising inflation? It might cause a little bit of inflation, but it's not going to be anywhere near what we're currently experiencing right now. Here's the thing. Inflation is rising at a rate right now on a monthly basis, probably as much as total inflation would be increased as a result of sending out a highly focused check for the low income and the fixed income. My point is, if they sent out a highly focused check, it wouldn't have that much impact to inflation. But if they sent out a broad check, then yeah, by all means, that would cause a ton of inflation once again. So we don't want to do that. We want to send out a highly focused check for the low income and the fixed income. So again, things are changing very, very rapidly. Again, one other thing I want to throw out there as well, this is also, we could add to the list of, tons of different items that I could literally sit here and go through for hours talking about why things are basically setting up for why another check is needed very badly, as it has been. But again, the evidence continues to pile up. Again, and right now, we're dealing with potential global food shortages. That's not like a little issue that we can say like, oh, let's just sweep that one under the rug. No, global food shortages are a major, major problem because as we've recognized with other supply chain issues like we've witnessed over the last 2.5 years now, when something goes out of stock, around the country, and supply chain issues are encompassed around that, it takes a very long time to get those products back on the shelves. Months and months and months. It's not like we can just flip a switch one day and say, voila, we've got more food on the shelves. Help yourselves, everybody. Nope, sorry, that's not how it works, right? It takes a very long time to rebuild that supply and get things back out to the stores. So as soon as things are out of stock, you kind of got to look out because then it might be out of stock for a very long time. And when we start to have shortages, it's going to take a very long time to build that supply back up to meet the demand that is out there for everybody, right? We've noticed this. The last 2.5 years, we've noticed this. Let me give you one quick example. Toilet paper. I mean, let's just be real right now, right? We all saw this in 2020, right? Same thing happened across many different stores. You couldn't even get it for like at least half or more, like 2/3 of 2020, right? Regardless of where you went. It was always gone, right? So anyway, just one quick example of that going on. All right, so let me talk about the details. And like I said, it's honesty hour. We're cranking up the dials here. We're turning up the oven to 350 or 400 or I don't know. I don't know anything about baking, but my point is we're turning it up here and I want to lay it all out for you and let you know what this actually means and what is the likelihood of another check. All right, so for the reasons that I just laid out right there, you can kind of see where I stand on all this. All of the evidence is piling up for, once again, another check. But here's what I want to lay out for you and what I want to explain on this. Do I believe that there's going to be a broad check in the event that one is actually approved? Nope, I don't think that. I do not think that a broad check is going to be approved. Just like that we saw in late 2020 and early 2021, where it went out to 85% of the population. Do I think that's going to happen again? Honestly, I don't. There could be some talk about it just because maybe they think that, it's going to be like good PR if they come out and say, we're going to send out a check to everybody. That might be good, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's just, I don't think it's going to fly through Congress. However, could I foresee a highly focused check for the low income and the fixed income? Yes, absolutely, 100%. I absolutely could see this happening. And let me go back and explain this again. I know I've referred to this in other videos, but I want to throw this out there as an example because we all know that history repeats itself. If history does not repeat itself, at least it gives clues. And you got to look at history because it's like a roadmap. If you see the roadmap, you kind of know where we're going, right? Well, we know back in the kind of the depths of the Great Recession back in late 2008 and early 2009, they actually did distribute a highly focused check for fixed income beneficiaries in the amount of $250. It was distributed in May of 2009. If you don't believe me, feel free to go back and check it out. Feel free to look it up. It's a real thing. It did happen. So anyway, that was back in 2009. So you might be thinking, wait, $250? That's nothing. That's not going to get me anything these days. You're right. $250 13 years ago was very different than what $250 is today. $250 then, you could probably buy quite a few things. Today, you can get Well, almost nothing, right? I think we all probably recognize that. You can get virtually nothing for $250. Maybe a 2 weeks worth of groceries, maybe 3 if you're lucky, depending on how many people you're feeding, things like this. But again, it doesn't get you much these days. But anyway, so when it comes down to it, now, I know that there's a lot of moving parts here. I know there's a lot of things going on, but we are also understanding that we are in a very important time right now when it comes down to Congress, the president, the administration, and of course, the midterm elections. And again, I know this is something that's on the table right now, but considering timing, we know that they want to get something done. We know that they need to make some big promises to the people. We know that they've been coming out saying, we got to get something done. We need to produce for the people. How can they do it? Well, here's one thing that we can understand. If they were to approve a highly focused check, whether it's $1,400 or $2,000, honestly, it doesn't really matter what it would happen to be. But if they happen to focus a highly focused check on the fixed income, that encompasses about 70 plus million beneficiaries. Do you think that would be consequential? Do you think that would be, a good thing? Yeah, by all means, that'd be a good thing. It would help out the low income and the fixed income in a really good way. Right now, when most of these people can't even get enough food to eat on a monthly basis, can't even put enough food in the fridge, don't even have enough food on the table, can't pay the utilities. In fact, I just saw another report. Americans are behind on utility bills by $22 billion right now. That's incredible, right? That's a lot. Americans as a whole, $22 billion behind on utility bills. So again, do you think if we got any extra money right now, do you think we'd be putting it toward food or utility bills? Well, kind of depends, right? But I'm guessing most people are going to find that money to be most useful for the necessities rather than, paying a utility bill. At the same time, you kind of got to figure out what is best because you still want to keep the air conditioning on, especially this time of year, right? So anyway, just some other things that are going on right now during this very weird time and the great divide that we're currently living through right now, right? So anyway, when it comes down to it, like I said, honesty hour, laying it all out for you, letting you know what I think about this, where I'm kind of standing with this whole situation, and just what's actually going on with this. Here's where I stand. Again, a highly focused check, I could easily 100% see that happening. A broad check to 85% of the population, no, I don't foresee that happening. Could they actually talk about a broad check going out to 85% of the population? They could say it. Here's the thing. The president could say it. Anybody in Congress could say it. And then when they come back, they could say it was denied by a couple senators. That's all it was. We wanted it. We had this great plan to send out $2,000 checks to every single American. And we were going to do it, but 2 senators stood in our way and said we couldn't do it. You ever seen that happen before? Yeah, we've seen that before, right? So here's the thing. They can say anything they want, and then they can just point the finger at a couple other people and say, they ruined it. We had a plan. We were going to do this, and these 2 senators ruined the plan. Again, we've seen it happen before, so who says it's not going to happen again? My point is, if they start talking about it, that'd be very nice. It'd be encouraging. But at the end of the day, we ultimately do need some extra support from all the senators. But then if they don't get it after they talk about it, then they know who to point the finger at, right? You know what I mean? So just saying, we've seen it happen before and wouldn't be surprised to see it happen again. But when it comes down to a highly focused check, I'm not really sure who could really deny seniors, older adults, the elderly, people with disabilities, everybody like this living on a small fixed income. Not really sure who could deny a check to these people, right? I don't know. Seems to me like it would be ethically and morally very wrong to send some extra money to the people who are struggling the most right now, and as they've identified, the most vulnerable and highest risk segment of our population. Yeah, absolutely, right? So anyway, hope this kind of gives you a better glimpse into what is really going on right now, my honest opinions on where I currently sit with this, and again, we kind of got to wait for Congress, but realistically, the time is a ticking here, and we're kind of closing the very important window that they have to actually come out and announce something here and or get working on something. They have a few more months here until kind of that major window actually does close right before the midterm election. Now again, they could get something done before or after, but the fact of the matter is, the best timing for this would be right before the midterm elections. A couple months before, a few months before, things like this, and then they can talk about it all the way up to the elections, right? Kind of makes sense? Anyway, hope this one helps you out to better understand where we currently sit right now. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below. If you haven't done so yet, share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the thousands of videos right here on the channel. And please remember, I'm here for you each and every day in any way that I possibly can be. So leave your comments, your questions, and your feedback down below. I do my best to read as many and, of course, respond to as many as possible as well. Again, enjoy your day. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll catch you again later.